title of his speech is It's Not Easy as It Seems. To be evaluated by our 3DTM, our next speaker is none other than our immediate past president, President Erwin Bryan Tan. It's not easy as it seems. President Erwin Bryan Tan.
Oh, let me just move my coffee. Oops. Sorry, I spilled my coffee. Wait. I don't want to slip. While we're waiting for me to clean up my mess, maybe I can use this time to ask, has anyone here spilled any coffee in their lifetime?
Yes.
Yes po.
Okay. So anyway, why did I spill my coffee? Right? Because you might say, because I was clumsy, or maybe because I wasn't paying attention, or why was I actually bringing coffee in the first place? I was about to do my speech. The answer there is because I had coffee in my cup, right? If I had coconut juice in my mug, then I would have spilled coconut juice. If I had orange juice, then I would have spilled orange juice, right? That is also how we are in life. Basically, what is inside our cup is what will spill when someone bumps into us or we get into something like trouble or pressure. So we have to make sure that what is inside of us has to be good so that when pressure comes in life, it would eventually now, when it spills out, it's going to be good, right? See how easy that it is, right? You can turn anything into a motivation. Like right now, I can see an orange on my kitchen table. And if I'm going to cut that orange and I'm going to squeeze it, what's going to come out? It's actually orange juice, right? It's not going to be apple juice because it's an orange. And the same thing with us. When life squeezes us, what will come out is who we are inside. If we are good, then good things will happen. If we are bad, we're all going to scream and get angry, right? That is how it is. You see, it's easy to motivate, right? Well, that's what I also thought. Apparently, it's not easy as it seems. Because there was this one time when I had two staff in my clinic and I tried to motivate them. There was a problem with how they were working. And I said, you need to do this, do that, do that. You need to do this because it's for your family, it's for your future. And one of my staff improved, suddenly changed, and then became one of the most industrious staff. The second, nothing happened. It's like talking to a wall. Eventually, I realized that motivating people is not what you say, it's how people would understand it. So now, motivation is not as easy as it seems, right? There are three things that I eventually learned. First off, you need to understand first. Of course, being a physician, I always thought that people were like antibiotics. They come to you, they ask you for a solution to their problems, and then when they tell you everything, you say, "Oh, this is what you're gonna do. This is what you're gonna take. I'll write a prescription, give it to them. If they have an infection, I'll give them an antibiotic, and then they'll get better." Right? Apparently, like I said, people are not antibiotics. I am not an antibiotic. If a person has an infection, I won't suddenly just be able to treat anyone. So the first thing that I learned is that before I say anything, I need to understand first. That is the first step that I have eventually realized, that I cannot just suddenly give an advice. I have to understand first, what is the situation of this person that I'm talking with? Does he have the same situation as my life for me to be able to give an advice that I think is right? You need to understand first. Check the situation. Is it the same? Am I actually in the same shoes as this person? If not, learn to understand first. The second thing that I actually learned is that I need to create clarity. Same as with my staff. I need to make my instructions clearer, right? If I won't be able to give clear instructions, then I won't have any solutions. I remember this one time when I had a patient that I was then working in a government hospital during my internship, and I made a prescription. I gave it to this patient, and then one day the patient came back, and this patient said, "Doctor, I didn't get better." I said, "Oh, why? Why? What happened?" Um, the patient said, "Well, because the one that you gave me before, the the paper, you told me to take that paper and drink it, and I didn't get better." So apparently, this patient took that piece of paper because I said, "You take this and drink it," right? So that you need to be able to make things clearer. That's what I've learned later on. And with my staff, I made things clearer, better in order for them to understand what I'm talking about. And the third thing is I need to appreciate because it is now very difficult for you to get people to do something, right? Motivation is not putting pressure. It's not adding pressure to the lives of people, but rather telling them, giving them clear instructions, and then eventually getting them to follow you. So after I gave the instructions, I now started to appreciate them, which eventually they now understood what I wanted them to do. And that worked later on. I eventually realized that motivation doesn't come from pressure. It comes from understanding people. It means that rather than saying, how can I push someone to do this for me? I would rather now say, how can I actually motivate this person to move forward? And that is something that I have learned from that experience. And it has actually changed the way that I've actually thought of life. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.